breaking low once once we broke past this wick, and you start just running the trade down so you trade and stop. When you start to see things like this long bottom wick rejection, and you start to see more and more of these wicks, I'm starting to recognize it as exhaustion.
Yep.
But trying not to call bottom.
Yep.
So how is it when you're in your trades and you're trading your stops? When you get to a certain point, how are you able to recognize? Okay, you know what? This is the limitation. I really should be calling it here instead of waiting for it to hit down here, or even if it comes back here again. There's nothing up here to tell me it's going to continue down and get out, because then you notice it starts to do this.
So in this case, for example, what I would be doing is just simple looking at the structure. So where is this structure going to be broken? So first of all, in order for you to understand where a structure is going to be broken, you have to understand where was a previous resistance or support, depending on, whether it's a bullish trend or a bearish trend. So in this case, really the last resistance that we've had was right here, right? Right?
Correct. Sorry, I was on mute.
No worries. And so once price pretty much gave you this break and retest, breaking below like these support areas right here and continuation down, it's been a straight sell since. So that tells us that we're going to have to wait for some sort of a pullback, or we're going to have to wait for, some sort of consolidation prior to a continuation down. In this case, price did end up consolidating. So now here, what you would kind of think about is where would it make sense for you to place your trail stop loss, and if there was a fake out happening and everything like that, where would that be confirmed that this is just a fake out and then a continuation back down? If you only have these candles printing, which is a straight sell, which you will have a lot of the times, then let's say if this was a 30-minute time frame or a 15-minute time frame, I would probably be placing my stop loss somewhere up top here, trailed stop loss, right? But since this is a weekly time frame, obviously these are a lot more pips, right? So it's going to be riskier to trail your stop loss all the way here. But again, if you're already trailing your stop loss, you're already in profit, I don't think it would really matter. But this would be more okay, if price breaks out of this consolidation right here, and it has this consolidation resistance here, and if price wants to fake out, really where would it really just make sense for it to fake out? Exactly where it tapped into here. Why? That was a previous support.
Gotcha.
Right? And then a continuation back down. But if price ends up holding onto a support here and then we continue pushing back up, then this is, even though I have my trail stop loss here, this is more of a confirmation for me that, hey, price is going to push back up. We've broken structure, we're retesting it, and now we're continuing back up. So as soon as this bullish candle was closed here and the next one broke the high, that's where I would be closing out the entire trade.
Okay. So essentially you're looking for it to make a higher low instead of continue down. If it's going to continue down, it should push down, break this low, create a new lower low before coming back up and creating a lower high.
Exactly.
Okay.
Any other particular questions that you guys want to go over today in the simulation session, besides just the basics that we've been looking at?
I know somebody out there has a question. If not, I'd like to see if we can do a scaling, as we go. So you get this was the entry, this is the next lower high that you created. Where would you scale in here? Would you scale in at the break of this low? Or would you scale in, once this candle creates a top wick and starts pushing? What would be your next scaling?
I would be scaling in on this next candle right here. The reason why is, let me remove this arrow here, just so we can see the previous candle. The reason why is because this is the low that price made. We also know that this is a support area right here. And so what we want to see is a candle close below that area. So we barely try to break below the previous wick, and then we close below it. The next candle gives us a top wick rejection right into that previous support, and then it continued pushing back down. So as soon as this low here is broken, this is where my scaling would have been. And then a continuation down, obviously looking to the left. This is the weekly time frame. We can't look anymore to the left on this data, but if you're on lower time frames, you could, and then targeting wherever the next support is.
Okay.
All right, cool. So then let's go ahead and jump right into it then. So from a weekly time frame perspective, this is the weekly time frame here. What's the structure like? So we kind of just talked about it, so you guys do have like a cheat code answer already. But what's the structure like? Are we breaking out of structure or are we sitting in consolidation?
Bearish structure, and looks like we're breaking out of it for sure.
Perfect. So bearish structure, and we're breaking out of it. What gives you the confirmation that we're breaking out of a bearish structure here?
Price came down to retest that structure, created a bottom wick, and yeah, right.
All right. So it broke out of this consolidation and then held on to the consolidation resistance as support, and then we saw bullish momentum after that. Perfect. So what are going to be some levels here that you would mark off? Feel free to annotate. Alright, so this would be one level. Alright, so if you've already confirmed that this is a bearish structure, we know, or a bearish structure that's, transitioning into a bullish structure, we know that eventually we might even come back down here, but what's the first level that you need to break in order for you to even target this? There's 2 levels before this level. So that's one. And then there's one right before this. So I'll give you guys the answer here. It's this one here. If you can break below this and then continue back down, then yeah, you can come back and target this. If this is broken, then you come back and target that. Just for a visual understanding, what I'm essentially saying is if price is to continue pushing back up bullish and maintain this bullish structure that I have started, very easily the following week, as this new weekly candle is forming, we can just get a bottom wick rejection and then price continues right back up, right? So that's why it's important for price to break below this if we're going to look for any sort of sells. If we're looking for sells here, then a bearish candle would eventually look like, let's say, some sort of a top wick. And we're always looking for wick rejections because those are rejections on lower time frames, and price is telling you that, hey, I'm going to continue back down in this certain direction. I've grabbed the liquidity, or I'm going to continue back up bullish because I've grabbed liquidity from a particular level. If we are to continue pushing back down, bearish, some sort of a top wick candle could be forming somewhere down here as well. It doesn't really matter with a massive top wick, anything like this, anything of these two, and then a continuation back down. But what would give us the confirmation is this. Can price break below the support and then continue pushing back down? Leo, we're going to get through all the different time frames. We're doing a top-down analysis here. So that's based off the weekly time frame, right? Let's go ahead and drop down to the daily here now. So coming onto the daily time frame, same thing. You had that bearish structure here, finally broke out of that bearish structure, and then price ended up consolidating for a little bit. So right here, you've got that bearish structure, and then this is really your consolidation resistance. Price tapped into it and tapped into that previous consolidation. So what does that mean when price breaks into previous consolidations?
Liquidity grab.
Liquidity grab. And what confirmed that for you?
Grab a little arrow.
The word starts with a V.
Volume.
There you go. So if you want to confirm if if that particular area is a liquidity area or not, look at the volume that tends to follow. So once we broke out of that consolidation, look at all that volume that followed, right? Look at all this volume that followed. And then after that, we started following this proper bullish momentum, and then another volume to the upside, right? Pull back. Are we essentially holding on to a support here? And then can we continue pushing back up bullish? Right, but you guys see the bullish structure now that's starting to form here?
Yep.
Perfect. So now looking at the daily time frame, is there anything else that you'd mark off for right now? Like let's say if price broke out of either of these two zones, where would you be looking to hold this trade onto until? And what we can do is I'm going to adjust this right here. Alright, what was that again, Jamie? All the way up top there? Why not this?
Well, so right now, we had this, but we already, so we kind of broke above that area. We closed back below it again, but we're holding on to this support level. So what I'm thinking right now is if I had to take a trade, in my mind, this would be my first point of hesitation, but this is really where my ultimate TP would be. So an intermediate, I guess, on a minor TP would be here first. Extended TP would be up here because of this and this.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so this is the first level that I would mark off here, right? And then this is more of like where you take partials, where you look for potential scale-ins. But yes, ultimately we can come back and target right into this level here. And then I believe someone else had marked off something here. Nothing? All right. Let's go ahead and drop down to the 4-hour time frame. Oh, was that you, Chris, right here? This one?
Yeah, my bad. I couldn't unmute myself for some reason.
No worries.
Yeah, just that.
All right, perfect. So this is for sells. You're saying this is going to be your target, eventually coming down here, and then if we can continue pushing down, then you would target somewhere down here. All right, let's come on to the 4-hour now and take a look at what's going on here. So at the 4-hour, same thing, bearish structure, consolidation, and then in some ways this was a little bit of consolidation, but we started this bullish trend here finally, right? Now here, let's do this. We got a nice bullish structure. So here, price already held onto a support. We got a strong bullish close right into the support area. And then the next 4-hour candle didn't break the highs, but didn't really break the lows either. What we want to be careful of here now is this little area. So can we see a continuation up from here? Can we see the next candle give us some sort of a bottom wick rejection, you know, so for potential buys? Now that we've already held onto a support down here, can we see some sort of, let's say, a bottom wick rejection and then a continuation back up? As price clears out of this minor resistance area, then is this a potential buy opportunity that we can take as like a quick scalp, maybe targeting this or even this resistance here, and then turning that into a swing trade as we follow this entire structure to the upside? Or is this not even a trade that you guys want to trade in, right? So that's where that subjective decision really comes down to, where if you want to look for quick scalp opportunities, which you can on gold, this is just a 4-hour time frame, and we'll look at the economic calendar and all that stuff in a little bit too to figure out, is it going to be a slow day, or is it going to, are there a lot of fundamentals to watch out for this particular week, and maybe expect some volume. But that's really where your subjective decision comes in. For me personally, if price has already held onto a support here, and if we can see a clear above this, then I think at least for a scalp, we have a pretty good range to come back into these areas. And then we'll see, you know, this is going to be more like our limitation of our trade. So we'd be taking partials, we'd be trailing our stop loss, you know, we're going to take all the good risk management precautions here. And then we'll see if we can look for a potential scale in, or is price just going to retrace back down? And if it's a slow economic week, then we might even see some consolidations here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is also mark off this little area here. So when we drop down to lower time frames, we know that this is one area to watch out for. Extend this over to the left, and you start to see how there's wick rejections and price pretty much consolidating down here. Any questions about this?
No.
Alright, everything makes sense here so far?
So far, so good.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and drop down to the hourly then and take a look at what's going on here. Alright, so on the hourly time frame, what do you guys see happening?
little bit of consolidation.
A consolidation going on right here.
Yeah, but we've had some sort of support created, so.
Alright, so then from a price action perspective, what are these candles telling you?
That the bullish pressure is sort of dying down. Prices exhausting.
The bullish pressure?
The bearish pressure, sorry.
So the bearish pressure is starting to die down. How can you tell?
The candles are getting smaller, and obviously we've had the break of highs on those previous to the most current candle.
Alright. Yeah, so the candles, the bodies are getting lower. The candles are barely breaking each other's highs and lows. Here, for example, this is the last candle that really had volume, right? That pushed all the way down here, left a wick rejection for the following candles to fill. And then after that, 3 candles, but we still haven't filled that at all, right? And if anything, we're seeing a little bit of more volatility kicking in. So if you start to see consolidation on the hourly, I would hardly drop down to the 30-minute or the 15-minute because they're going to do the same exact thing. You're not really getting a cleaner picture here either, where we do have, again, the support, nice break and retest, some sort of a retracement. So is this a support, new support that price is making on lower time frames, or are we just going to end up consolidating out here? Drop down to the 15-minute time frame, and you essentially have the same exact thing that's happening, right? Not much of a cleaner picture to understand what's going on. These candles showing you very little volume and everything like that. So what we're going to do is start playing this now. So let's first look at the news. So today, it seems like it's very low impact news, so it seems like we're going to be trading mostly based off of technical analysis and confirmations. Continue down into tomorrow. Continue down into tomorrow. A little bit of medium impact news, but mostly, there's no high impact news that would show me that there's going to be a ton of volume or volatility kicking in. And then we have CPI coming out, it seems like, on Wednesday. From GBP, and then you got CPI coming out from the Canadian dollar as well. So we might see a little bit of a pickup in London session, maybe even New York session then. And then continue on to the rest of the week. We got FOMC statement coming out. So maybe we could expect a lot more volatility kicking in around that time. I think this would be, eventually I think we might even see a slowdown just from a economic data perspective and even from like volume perspective, setting up for, are we going to see an increase in interest rates? So it seems like they're expecting a 0.5% increase in interest rates here. And then going into the end of the week, Bank of Japan's interest rates, we know that they've always maintained at negative 0.1%. And then they have their press conference. But that's about it, I think, going into the end of the week. Alright, so we're going to keep this back at 20. Alright, there we go. So let's go ahead and play this. This back tester is called SharmaFX, Larry. And then let's also do session. So we are in Asian session here. Do you guys want to skip over to New York? Is there anyone who trades London session here?
We can skip.
Alright, let's skip over to... Alright, here's your New York session going into New York Stock Exchange. So about an hour into New York Open. So let's take a look at all these levels, what has price eventually done. So we did our pre-trade analysis here already. Let's say the night before in Asian session. Now we come back onto the charts. This is a process that you're going to go through. Even if when you're in live markets, you're going to mark up your levels, the important levels, the night before. And, in Asian session, London session, depending on whatever session that you're trading, you're going to come back the next day, whatever session that you do trade, whether it's New York session, London session, Asian session, anything like that, you're going to take a look at how did price react here. So we're going to go, usually I say go up up until the monthly time frame, but we're just going to use the weekly here today. So far, it seems like price has made that bottom wick rejection that we talked about when we did our pre-trade analysis, right? So it seems like price is holding on to a support here. Now, can we see a continued push up? Possibly. And this would again be the limitation of our trade to make sure that, you know, price just doesn't end up making a top wick and then flipping back down. Let's continue on to the daily time frame. What's going on here? So far on the daily time frame, same thing, made a bottom wick rejection. If we can break above the zone, we'd be breaking this previous candle body high, and then we know that we have some good potential buy opportunities coming back up into this range. This is about, you know, around 40 pips or so that we can take advantage of. Go down to the 4-hour time frame, zoom in. So price has held on to a nice support. You know, price is pushing down. It's holding on to a nice support and then pushing back up. We're clearing out of this consolidation area here. So now this is when you start visualizing what sort of setup would you be looking for. Are you looking for an impulse trade, or are you looking for a break and retest? You know, what are potential setups that you would be looking for here? If price is breaking out of this consolidation after making a retracement here essentially to hold on to a support, I personally want to see a break and retest here. Not on the 4 hour probably, but more like on the hourly, 30 minute, 15 minute, anything like that. So now what is your break and retest essentially going to look like? Is it going to look like something like this? Or is it going to look like more like a retracement and then a continuation back up? When we're looking at higher time frames, we've only had 2 bullish candles here on the 4 hour, right? After holding on to a nice support. So I'm okay with like this 3 candle break and retest. So if I can get a 3 candle break and retest here and then a continuation back up, then that would be a trade that I'd be willing to take. What do I mean by a 3 candle break and retest? So a bullish candle close at or above the zone. The next candle gives me a bearish candle close right at that zone. So not really dipping anything below this, but right at that zone. Maybe even up until this point I'm okay with, but it should not be coming back anything further than this. So a bearish candle, and then the next candle holds on to a support and then continues back up bullish. So that's what I mean by that 3 candle break and retest. Make sense? Any questions?
No.
All right, perfect. So in this case, we've had a nice support, push back up, and then you got a nice break and retest, continuation back up here again. You start to see some of these candles exhausting out a little bit as we tap into this minor resistance area. Look to the left, that's where we've had minor resistance in the past too. And then a nice bottom wick rejection and then a continuation back up. So we've closed above this area here on the hourly time frame. Let's drop down to the 30 minute. Nice bullish momentum on the 30 minute as well. No bottom wick here. So this is where I would want to see like the next candle give me a bottom wick and then a push back up, or giving me a break and retest, you know, something like that that would solidify the fact that this is now a new support and I don't really have to worry about price coming right back down. Coming on to the 15 minute, we're starting to see a bearish candle close here. So now what I want to see is the next one, can it hold on to a support and then push back up? You also need to keep in mind, is this a volume time? So like market overlaps, when there's a stock exchange open, things like that. So if it's a high volume time, sometimes you can even get a break and retest on a 15-minute time frame, and that would be sufficient. So on a 15-minute time frame, if you get a break and retest, or a 30-minute time frame, you can possibly turn your scalp into a swing trade, right? But if it's not like a, you know, I would say like a market overlap, or with like a New York Stock Exchange open or Tokyo Stock Exchange open, anything like that where there's volume kicking in, let's say you're about 2 hours into the market open, now there's not as much volume as there was when that market opened up, right? When the session opened up. So in that case, that's when you would pay a little bit more attention to the 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour daily. But when there's a market overlap, then you can essentially, that's where a lot of the volume is, especially the London and New York overlap. So you can essentially look for the 15-minute, 30-minute confirmations. Any questions about that? All right. So let's go ahead and play this here and then see if we can get a potential setup. Alright, price is pushing down, so this is essentially going to be a break and retest on the 30-minute time frame. And remember, this is December, so we do get a lot of fake outs and everything like that around this time anyways, almost every year. Alright, so 30-minute, that push right back down. It seems like we're rejecting it. We're pushing back up here again. Go on to the hourly, same thing, a nice bottom wick rejection here. Go on to the 4 hour. The 4 hour candle just started forming. So it seems like, you know, if we continue to reject this area and then push back up, we might get our confirmations from some of these lower time frames. So we've had a 15-minute close. The new one just made a little bit of a bottom wick. What I want to see here, excuse me. What I want to see here is, can this 15-minute close bullish, let's say holding on to a support here, and then if the next one can continue back up, then I think that would be a potential trade opportunity that we can take advantage of. And what would that look like on the 30-minute? Possibly a break and retest. So we have this last 15-minute candle is going to be the last of this 30-minute here as well. So if that one closes right into the zone, we're going to have a bearish 30-minute candle, and then the next 15-minute is going to be the new 30-minute candle. So if that can continue back up bullish, that would give us that 3-candle break and retest that we were talking about. Any questions so far? All of this makes sense?
Yes.
Perfect. Is this a setup that you guys would take in the live markets? Are you getting comfortable with that now?
Me, no. Only because the candle is still in play. I'd wait for this candle to close, give me a bottom wick on the next one, and start to push. Once it takes out its high, then I would take it to the upside.
All right. But you're comfortable with this range here?
Yeah, no. That garbage that we saw in the last, what chart were you on before that? The 30-minute?
Yeah. Right here?
Yeah, this garbage. I mean, so what's the distance from, there you go, from the top to this? Perfect. Actually up there. It's about 106, so, alright.
It's more like a 15, 16 pip move.
It's,
yeah, it's not a lot.
no, nothing. So I wouldn't even bother with this until we cleared above this nonsense.
Alright. Is there anyone who would take a trade here?
I would take it.
Alright, perfect. So what's your confirmation here before you can hop into a trade?
For me, my confirmation is just the break and retest formation. I want to see like that candle to the left, the bearish candle that it's breaking. I want to see it break it a little bit more, kind of test the volume, and then that's where I would probably take my entry.
Alright, so you're not taking it just yet? You want to wait a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay. So I would personally take a trade here right now. The reason why is because, you guys just heard about the 30-minute break and retest from Jamie and Miles. Another confirmation that I would add to that is we got the 15-minute close, holding on to a nice support. We're breaking the previous highs, and now if we can continue pushing back up, you know, that's the potential entry. But here, I'm already getting the confirmation support is formed, and then this 30-minute break and retest. Let's hop up to the hourly. We're barely flipping bullish, but we've already gotten a bottom wick rejection. So I would take an entry here right now, and I would go in with that 1% risk. And then let's place the stop loss. I want to do it below the previous 15-minute.
I think with that 15-minute, I didn't take in that 15-minute support already formed. Honestly, I probably enter now as well.
Okay. So we'll target here first, and then if we can see the volume kicking in, we'll take some partials, you know, if price allows us to here, and then, you know, trail our stop loss, move to break even, yeah, anything like that, and then we'll increase our TP afterwards to let runners go.
Sounds good. And does that consolidation to the left like worry you at all, or not really?
No, because we're already getting a break and retest right here as price is breaking above the zone. Plus, you know, this is a market overlap. You just got the New York Stock Exchange open, so this is more volume kicking in.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and do your buy here as well. Where's your TP going to be?
For TP, honestly, I like right where you have it, right there.
Okay. And then stop loss?
Stop loss, I would go. Can you go to the 15-minute per sec?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, same, just where that 15-minute support is.
All right, there you go. Good stuff.
Yep.
All right, Larry wants to get in too, so we're gonna go at the max of 3% today. So Larry, I would take the trade made up for a wick. Are you looking to enter right now, or are you still waiting? So if you guys want to take an entry on YouTube, just go ahead and let me know. Where do you want to take an entry? The price. Where would you place your stop loss? If you can't see the price, that's fine too. Just tell me like 15-minute previous support, 30-minute previous support, you know, something like that. And then where would you place your TP? So I'm going to wait for Larry to answer real quick. And then we'll continue. We'll give him a minute or so, because I know YouTube is a little lagged. But does this setup make sense for everyone?
Yeah, it does.
Perfect. Alright, we're gonna have to move on. Larry, let me know if you want to take another entry, but let's go ahead and continue. This is a volume that you see like 15 minutes, 30 minutes after New York Stock Exchange opens. Alright, Larry. So I'll get you an entry right here. You said stop below the support. Are you looking at the same support as us, or are you looking at this support here? And then you said TP, so I'll keep your TP right here. Where do you want to place your stop loss? Oh, keep it at this level. I think it'll be safe. Under the red candle. Alright, so let me adjust that for you here then. Visual mode. And then right there. All right, let's keep it going. So Miles, yours is going to be that 353 right here, TP. And then Larry's is 293, and then mine's like the 400. So we'll just remember it from that. News, as we talked about, there's really nothing coming out high impact. Alright, we got the new 15. So the last one closed with a nice range for the following candle to come back and fill. A little bit of a bottom wick, but a ton of volume. And the new 15 right off the bat seems like it's making a bottom wick, and then if it can continue breaking its high, that's confirmation that there's bullish volume kicking in. So this is what I mean by breaking its own high. See how it keeps creating a higher top wick, and then it retraces back down and then continues pushing. So if you can clear out this area, I would increase my, if it clears out of this, I'm going to increase my TP. Yo, Larry, yes, so there is the Zoom. I put it under the announcements channel in Discord. If you don't have access to that, just DM me on Discord. Just send me your first, last name with your email. All the webinars and simulation Zoom links are sent under the announcement channel. But congratulations on completing your degree. Alright, got a bearish candle close with the top wick that's already broken. So let's see if we can continue holding on to this as support and then push back up. So this is the new hourly candle. Last one closed with little volume, but a nice top wick and a bottom wick. So the new hourly candle, this is where you have to account for the new candle to make a bottom wick rejection, and then a continuation back up. What does that essentially look like? Drop down to the 30-minute. 30-minute, potentially another break and retest here, or maybe just a bottom wick and then flip back up. 15-minute, a bearish candle, breaks the low, respecting the previous support to push back up here again. So these are the things when you're looking to trade in the live markets, things that will come with the experience, but that's what the point of the simulation sessions here is, where to help you guys understand how does price essentially move, and you're moving into like a new hourly candle, 4-hour candle, daily candle, right? So that's why you want to give price enough room to give bottom wick rejections, top wick rejections, and then a continuation. So Larry, your stop loss just got hit right there with this trade as price is pushing back down into the support zones.
VJ, can you go over to the 30?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Okay.
What's up?
No, I was just looking at, it tapped right back in to the top wick here. tapped right back into this consolidation here.
Yep.
Got a beautiful bottom up rejection that took out this low. We're still kind of pushing bullish, but we're not even breaking our own highs yet.
Yep.
You know, so we're just kind of playing around in this area a little bit.
So what does that mean when price comes back into a consolidation area again?
You grab more orders. I mean, it doesn't have enough orders of volume really.
Yep.
To break one direction or another. So it needs enough orders. If it's going to continue this bullish trend, it needs to grab more orders in here.
Absolutely.
To be able to push up.
Absolutely. Perfect. Alright, we got about 7 minutes before this 30-minute closes. We got the first 15 of this new hourly candle closing with a doji. So it's not bullish or bearish, it's just a doji. So that, what does that tell you?
Indecision.
Exactly. So you got the indecision candle close in a consolidation area. That's the ultimate confirmation that you can get about price collecting orders. Alright, we got about 2 minutes. Alright, you got a nice 15 close here. Still barely broke the previous high, but gave you a nice bottom wick rejection here. So now I want to see, can we continue pushing back up, or are we just going to see a little bit of low volume until, let's say, going into tomorrow? Yep, there's a lot of wicks, but all these wicks are there for a reason, right? So that's where like really understanding the price action comes into handy, where all these wick rejections, is it liquidity grab or is this a range? In this case, this is liquidity grab right here. How do you know? Because you'll see how the next candles that start forming start breaking the highs right off the bat. What kind of helped me when, I had started trading and trying to understand like price action and everything like that, is just understanding the simple fact that every second of the market there's buyers and sellers. That's what makes the candles fluctuate, right? There's people, even if this thing is pushing bullish, there will be people placing sells. And then even if this thing is pushing bearish, there's still going to be people who are going to be putting in buy orders, right? And so every second in the market there's buyers and sellers. When you start understanding that, you start to understand why there are like certain wick rejections. Why are we rejecting into, support zone or resistance area? What are we doing sitting in a consolidation level? Everything like that. Alright, we're coming up close to another 15 close here in a couple of minutes, in about 2 minutes. When you start to see something like this and you start to get overwhelmed, hop up to the higher time frames. So 30-minute right off the bat broke the highs, even the previous high up top here. Go on to the hourly. The hourly still in our direction, is still bullish. Go on to the 4 hour. Let me zoom in for you guys. And the 4 hour again is still bullish. So we got the 15 close, bearish right here. The new one, same thing, made a bottom wick, and it seems like it's trying to push back up. I already know that some of you guys are probably still wondering, why are we still in this trade if price is consolidating? Someone tell me why. I think we went over that a couple of times already. Why are we still in this trade if price is still consolidating? What confirmations do we have here?
Somebody, There you go.
You go on, Jimmy.
No, I was going to say, if nobody wants to speak up, but I mean, essentially, we have bottom wick rejections. We've held this support level, and all we're doing is collecting contracts to continue pushing up. So we haven't come back down to break this low, and price hasn't told us that's going to reverse.
There you go. And now we just got a strong 15-minute close here as well. Yep, making higher lows, staying above the support. So if price doesn't tell you that's going in the opposite direction, that's going against you, don't worry about it, right? Just understand what's happening in these areas. We already talked about how this was a consolidation area. If price comes back and revisits a consolidation area, starts consolidating again, consolidation is all just liquidity generation, collecting orders. Think of it like that, right? That's all that is. We're still trying to break previous highs, right? We haven't broken previous lows, besides like this one candle here, which again closed as an indecision. Check higher time frames. The hourly is still bullish here, right? It's pushing up. Alright, you guys cool with me skipping here on the 15-minute time frame?
Go for it.
Alright. Ooh, nice push up almost all the way to TP. This is the last 30 minutes of this London and New York. So if we can't clear above this again, just a bottom wick and then push back up, I'm going to increase my TP here. And then I'm going to trill my stop loss. I think we have enough. Let me check. We have enough to take partials, so I'll take partials as well. Alright, push back down. Look up on the higher time frame. We're still good. So now here, why is this not something that we're worried about?
I think
To the bottom wick. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man.
I was just saying because it created a bottom wick and it's still showing some bullish momentum.
The bullish momentum, and then also that price, after creating a support here, we're getting that nice bullish momentum here. We come back into that previous resistance area, and so what you said, a bottom wick rejection, but essentially is this going to be more like a support formed and then a continuation back up, right? Are we going to continue making those higher highs and higher lows? So that's why it's not something that would really worry us, especially like on a 15-minute time frame where the low is broken, the 15-minute push back up, right? And it closed bearish here. But essentially, can we continue making those higher highs and higher lows? Yeah, it hasn't broken the trend. It hasn't broken the structure. Nothing like that. I'm liking this. You guys are getting it.
Well, it's either we get it or you shoot us, right? So I'd rather get it.
I don't know about shooting. I don't have a gun license, but I got my black belt though.
See, even more dangerous. I'm good. I like my bones.
There you go. No, I think it comes from like just doing this over and over again. So I think we've done it enough times where it's like it's becoming like a second nature to a lot of you guys. Alright, so this hourly is going to close here in just a little bit too. So all I want to see is, can we clear above this? And then I would increase my TP, trail my stop loss, move to break even, anything like that, and take some partials. Yeah, once London closes, you really tend to get like a little die down into the market when it comes to volume. And then right before New York is about to close, you'll start to see like this one last burst of volume. Alright, so same thing here, breaking the highs. Let's see if we can clear above here. Alright, so we got to clear. What I'm going to do is increase my TP. And this one here. And let's just go to the top of the range here. Do like right here, the previous resistance. Do you want to do anything to your TP, Miles?
Yeah, I'll move my TP to where you moved yours, but I'll secure, not right now, but once it fills that wick, I think I'll secure like 80%.
Alright, just let me know when.
Okay.
And well, actually, I'm also going to move to break even. Right here. So I'm going to move to break even. So the reason why I'm moving to break even is we're getting nice bullish push up. We're breaking out of this consolidation. You come onto the 30-minute time frame, you got another break and retest forming. Come onto the 15. We've already consolidated enough. We've already created enough support areas for us to at least come back into this zone.
I'll go break even as well, actually, DJ.
Alright, cool. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, so London has officially closed. Now this is all just New York until this 23 right here. And then that's where you're going to get the last of New York with Sydney overlap. Sydney doesn't really tend to have a lot of volume. You'll start to see a lot more volume kicking in when Tokyo opens up. So somewhere like in the last 2 hours of New York, we'll see like a last burst of volume before the market closes. So this new hourly, it didn't make a bottom wick unlike the last ones. Right off the bat, it just broke the high and we broke out of this consolidation area. All of this is making sense so far. Any questions?
All good.
Perfect. All right, we got 10 minutes before this 30-minute closes. 15, we got close right above the zone with a nice range. The new 15-minute candle made a little bit of a bottom wick, barely, but right off the bat broke the high. So now the next stop is to fill the wick and then come back into this zone here.
BJ, this seems like a very stressful trade.
How come? How come?
No, I mean, like,
I'll just
Like,
secure you here. Sorry to
No,
interrupt.
no worries, no worries. All right. How much do you want to close?
I'll close 80%.
Okay. Go for it, Pat.
no, I was just gonna say, like, it's such a high risk trade in my books that, man, like, even just watching the wicks and, yeah, and, like, all your explanations and everything is like, now for my emotional and mental health, I definitely want to take this trade.
Well, price isn't telling us otherwise. I mean, if price like started dumping back down, that would be like, okay, let's close this thing out.
Yeah. No, I would have. You see, like where price retraced initially and took, I think that other stop loss out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that kind of stuff. I would have probably closed my whole trade. Yeah, honest to God.
You gotta stay confident.
We're working on that. We've been abused.
Hey, it's not by me though. Let's keep that on the record. I'm not abusing anyone. I'm helping
No,
you.
I think the market has done a very good job of that.
There you go. I'm the market therapist for you guys.
Oh man.
$5 a minute.
Alright, we're pushing up. I'm gonna go ahead and take some and then also trail the stop loss. So let's close 50. And then I'm gonna trail my stop loss. Oh, that's not me, sorry. Do you want to trail your stop loss, Miles, or do you want to keep it at break even?
Yeah, no, I'll trail my stop loss to just below that support. I'll trail a little lower.
Okay. So you're right here.
Okay.
Right here?
Yeah, that's good for me.
Perfect. Alright, we got some nice volume here, even on the hourly. 4-hour insane bullish momentum. And then daily broke the previous highs. Now it's coming back into this minor resistance. Usually we'd probably have a little bit of a longer session just to see like, how far would the trade go. But just to be respectful of everyone's time, even here on YouTube, we'll just keep it to... We'll see like whether the TP is going to hit or the stop loss is going to hit, or do we just close out early. So we'll just give it another, 5-10 minutes or so.
Sorry, VJ. You made a statement earlier. I was just on the phone for a bit, so I couldn't engage. But you said that around this time of the year, there's usually a lot of fake outs. Is that because of like reduction in volume, or?
Yes. So reduction in volume, and then also it's the last quarter and the last month of the quarter of the year. So you see like a lot of adjustments and everything happening as well when it comes to trades.
So a lot of hedge funds and just big institutions closing out trades or position trades that they've held for like a long time as well.
Yeah, or like looking into new positions, but usually that tends to happen like after the first week of January.
Okay, all right.
And then around this time, people are getting ready for the holidays anyways. It's the 17th. So I think this is the last week before Christmas.
Okay.
And I have one question for you. So being that, this is December, going into January, what would you recommend for newbies and new traders out there to do? Stay away the first week or stay away for the first 2 weeks?
If you're going into December and you're not used to trading like something like this, where you haven't really honed in on, like if that consolidation thing right here is something that would have scared you out, then I would say first try to understand what's really essentially happening in the markets. You will see a lot of this happening as you get closer to the end of December and even January. But what I would say is look for paper trades. Start like paper trading, journaling. These are setups that you would be looking for. And then going into January, at least the first week, just stay out of the markets. Again, paper trade, and get yourself ready from like a mental perspective, from a psychological perspective of potential setups that you want to be trading. How would you managing your stop loss? How would you manage your risk in general and things like that? So I would say the last 2 weeks of December and then the first week of January, just paper trade. Use those 3 weeks to just paper trade.
Awesome. Thank you, a wise one.
Absolutely. All right, awesome. So far on this, let's do a quick review of what we've had. Let's go back to the history. So total, what we've done is risk 3% on this account. We started off with around $1,500. So we got a total of 4.16% equity increase, risk 3%. One of them hit by the stop loss, closed by stop loss. Two of them we partially closed, and then we also closed by TP, the runners. But overall, even with the loss, even by closing partials and everything like that, essentially like after that one trade had hit stop loss, we still had 2% running on the account. With that 2%, we were able to get up to like a 4.16% in just one day in one trade. So that's how, when we talk about make 5%, make a goal to have like a 5% equity increase per week, that's essentially how you would do it. Like at least every day, all your goal is, even if you're going for like a 1-to-1. I know here like we increase the TP and whatnot, but if that's not something that you're used to, you're just like getting started in the markets or anything like that, that's essentially how you're going to do it. You're going to start off with 1-to-1 risk to reward at the very least, and then you're going to make it a goal to have 1% equity increase every day. Right? If you're trading 5 days a week when the markets are open, every day your goal is just to make that 1%. And then there are going to be days like this eventually where you are going to end up making your goal probably in one trade or like, 2 trades, whatever your goal may be. But that 5% is not hard to hit at all. You guys have seen it in the simulation sessions. I'm pretty sure you guys, like if you join our live sessions as well, you would see the same exact thing there. Right, but if you're a starter, try to make it a goal to have at least 5% equity increase by the end of the week, and that's just 1% every single day. That's just your 1-to-1. From that 1-to-1, then you want to increase that to 2-to-1, then go to 3-to-1, then go to 4-to-1. Right, at least try to get to 4-to-1 if you can in the first 6 months or so. That's what your goal is. That's what you're trying to That's what you're trying to work up to. Sounds good?
Excellent.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Awesome. So I will see you guys for the weekly outlook. I will post a schedule in our Discord. But other than that, have a great weekend, everybody. And again, it's the start of a new quarter. So happy October. Happy quarter 3. But be careful, again, in the first week of the new quarter. It's the last quarter of the year. And as always, you guys have